So, look, I just want to thank you for your time. Anytime I link up with you, so you can see me. Anytime I link up with you, man, it's always something that not only is it beneficial, but I always I feed from it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And so, before we even start this interview, I definitely want to thank you for that. I want to thank you for being my friend, and thank you for your time. I
You
really
know what it
appreciate
is.
it.
You know what it is.
Okay, so with that being said,
Yeah.
do me a favor and tell the folks who am I speaking to and where you from.
Word, word. Name is Jim Conway. From everywhere, man. A little bit of Kansas, a little bit of Dallas, Texas. But call Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, my home. You
Right
know.
on, right on. So yeah, in regards to home, um, where did Jimmy Kahn um, kick up dust, so to speak?
Man, um, that's a story. I kind of grew up, Kansas City, Missouri. You know what I'm saying? Kansas around there. That's where I did the most, as a kid. When I think about being a child, that's where I kind of came up around that area, and went to school and grew up. Learned
Okay.
about the birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees.
Right, right, right.
Learn how to drive. So, yeah.
And then when did the move begin for you in regards to creating different homes?
Man, me and my mom's got into it when I was like 16, 17 years old. It was time for me to leave, basically. Go and become a man a little bit earlier than a man would usually leave the nest. But when it's time, it's time. So kind of went out and did my own thing. Moved to Dallas, Texas. Stepped out there in Arlington Park. That's close to the Love Field area. For those that's familiar with the area, kind of cut my teeth out there and got my way around Irving, Texas. Down on Mockingbird, everywhere.
I know I don't know too much about Texas. I mean, all I know, especially when I was growing up, was 6 Point
Yeah.
and it's and South Padre.
Oh yes. Yes.
And we obviously ripped through San Antonio and Dallas and everything else. Has hip hop been part of your life by that time?
Yeah, yeah. And hip hop has really been my thing since 12, 13. Yeah, it's been a long time.
What what's that? Everybody has that. If it's not a song, it's a person. If it's not a person, it's an image or a movie or something that they can say, this is why I started playing with hip hop.
Yeah,
Now, what is that for you?
man. Honestly, coming up, I was kind of an awkward child. As I said, my mom, she was strict, so I didn't get to be in the streets like most kids. I had to be in the house at a reasonable time. My mom had to know where I was going, so the big homie Vernon Dees, shout out to Group Fly. We went to the same church together, and he had this rap group he was rocking with called Soul Food, and I was just a young cat, and I seen those cats on stage, man, and I seen all the love they was getting, man, and like I realized that if you had that conduit, you wouldn't need nothing else. And so, my mom did a really good job of sheltering me from hip hop music because, she kind of saw that as the devil. She was really religious. I come from a really religious background. So anything that wasn't uplifting Jesus Christ, she wasn't really trying to hear it. And so when I did go to church and they were doing hip hop there, I kind of got in and passed that red tape. And so I saw him do his thing with his group, and I wanted to be a part of that. And I looked up to him as a mentor. And so, yeah, I guess I would have to put it on Vernon. Back then, he was going by Obi-Wan, obedient to one. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that would be that one person.
Shout out to Group Fly.
Yeah,
Them guys, they do amazing things in the city.
no doubt.
Absolutely. And they got some super fly clothes too. I got
Yeah.
a couple shirts myself. Like you said, what's even more important, what's more cool is when there's somebody in your life that creates that ambition, right? That
No
love.
doubt.
Do y'all still communicate? Y'all still cool?
Yeah, man. Vernon is one of my. I mean, a lot of people don't know it because he moves in his circle and I move in mine. But you know, he is my longest living friend on this earth, and that's a tough thing. You know, as you grow up, you lose touch with people. You know, people get married, they have children, and then for whatever reason you fall apart. But you know, he's always been a mainstay in my life. You know, we still talk. We're supposed to link up for breakfast sometime this week, but you know, he slides me gear from time to time so I can stay fresh, prim and proper on stage. That's the homie.
Right on, man. Right on. You know, for me, when I was growing up, it was "Dear Mama,"
Yeah.
a Tupac song, where it made me go, I want to do this too. Is there a certain song specifically that you could remember back in the day where you would rap until you fell asleep, and you said, "Man, this could be me"?
There's so many. Dear Mama was definitely one of them. It's up there. Juicy was big. You know, Nas is like Nas.
Fire.
But like, I had a cousin who was into it, but he wasn't much of a mentor. But he was like, he was into it, and he would play, you know, Daz Effects. You know, I remember it was crazy. I was a big basketball fan, and I remember when Shaq put out his rap album, and you know, and it was kind of clean.
Right.
You know, it really didn't have, so I could play that around the house, and he had some really dope, you know, rhyme sayers on there, but like, you know, KRS-One, which is Act Like They Don't Know.
And the beats was banging too.
Yeah, I mean, Scarface. I had a lot. Once I got into, you know, broke through, oh, I like this. I was just peeling back the layers, and I never heard a hip hop song I didn't like, man. I never heard a hip hop song I couldn't get something from it. You know, even down at, you know, Digital Underground, you know, and you know, Humpty Hump, like there's so many different elements, you know, to hip hop music per se, not to mention the culture, you know, and so yeah, I'm all over the place, but you know, Juicy's that song. When it comes on, that's my joint.